Okay, so I wanted to make you a fast video on just before this machine gets ready to leave. This is your control panel, and this is the remote receiver, and this is the remote control. So when you get to the job site, if you guys decide that you don't want to use the remote and you're just going to use the panel, you can do that. Basically, you make sure you're on your pump control, make sure that your switch is always off before you start the engine. And over here you have another switch. This switch here up and down is for on and off, is for the remote control. If you guys decide that you're not going to use the remote, you can keep that switch down. If you decide you're going to use that remote, then make sure you turn the switch on before you start it. Once you turn that on, now I can go to my remote. I release the emergency stop, and I turn, by hitting the green button, it turns the controller on. Okay, now the controller's on. When you click on it the first time you've listened, you'll hear a little relay turn on, so that the machine is on. Now you can go ahead and start it by holding it until it starts. Oh, you have to turn the key on. Make sure you turn the key on. Then you can go ahead and start it. Okay? Make sure that when you're running it, you hear that little bang in the beginning. Make sure that you've got, if you're gonna bring up the RPM, make sure there's either water and slick in it or your concrete. Do not just start bringing up your RPM and have that lobe moving, because there's no pressure behind the piston and you're gonna get a knocking on the lobe. Okay, so just for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the pump on. Okay, and you'll hear the RPM rise. I'll go ahead and shut it back down. Okay, now I'll go ahead and shut the engine down. When you shut the engine down, it's always got to be from the key. It can never be from the controller. The controller is to start it, to start the pump, and to stop the pump. Okay, so if you wanted to, so now I would go ahead and shut the switch off, and the controller is off. Okay, from here you've got an emergency shut off, but it's only for really the remote control. It's not for the system. If you want to shut the pump off, here's your off button here. Okay, that's to shut the pump off. If you turn the pump on, if you hit this one time and you turn the pump on while the engine's running, the pump will turn on, and you can also hit it again and shut it back off, or you can hit the off button and shut it off. There are also two extra buttons, a horn and the lights. Doesn't exist, it just came with the remote. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put that away. Here inside the box, you've also got an extra rebuild for the pump, but it's already got one in it. Okay.